Hey guys, welcome to my 31-day challenge. If you're joining me for the first time, welcome aboard and thank you for coming along. If you are returning, welcome back, guys. Day number 20. We've made it this far. We've actually made it to day 20, which is actually mad. And you know what? Time flies. Time flies. It does not feel like it's been 20 days. It feels like it's been 5 days, honestly speaking. And it just makes you realize how quickly things happen and how quickly time moves while you're kind of in your own head living, thinking that you have time for things. You're distracted by tasks and things you have to do. You don't even realize that Christmas is in 5 days. So yeah, it's really interesting. Eh. Anyway, I said again. I was like, I'm flowing. I haven't said and then I said it. But anyway, today, imagine the reason I'm recording so late today is because I accidentally nearly set fire to the building. Yeah, I almost set the building on fire. So I'm gonna turn it into a lesson, right? So the lesson I'm gonna relay to you guys from me is, don't just plug things into other things because they can go into them. Does that make sense? So I feel like in my house I grew up, we'd all use every charger cable for everything. I'd use the any cable I could find that will fit into the socket I'm gonna try it. So we used to do that with keyboards. I did that with, keyboards, toys, mainly instruments and toys. I feel so basically I did the same thing with my clippers, clippers. You decide which word you prefer. So I did the same thing with my clippers, and I'm sitting here about to record, right? So imagine I've set up, I'm sat here, I'm getting the angles right, getting the script. I'm like, cool. Then, you just sat there and you're like, nah, something, what is that? Because and this is something actually, it's actually mad, right? Because it leads into a topic I was going to speak on anyway, which is just how much you need, how much you don't understand, you don't put the true value of what everything you have means to you, in terms of just your functions and the things you can do. So, smelling is something that I feel like you take for granted, really. It's okay, I smell. You can smell nice things, and it's if I couldn't smell, I only wouldn't be able to smell. But smelling, in a way, I feel like smelling saved my life today, because I'm sat here, I'm like, what is that smell? It doesn't smell right. That smells weird. It's this high, what would you call it? I don't know what you call it. It's just this high pitch smell, and I'm like, nah, this isn't right. Then I start looking around. I look at the shaver, and the metal part it's melting. It's melting in on it. It's bubbling at it. So I turn off the plug. I go put it in the bathtub because I feel like the bathtub is bomb proof, obviously. Duh. Actually, for real, if there's a fire in the bathroom, is it contained because there's not as much flammable stuff in the bathroom, or am I just tripping? I might need to check on it. But I did check, but just in case. I'm dying to turn it on. The little boy inside me wants to try turn on the razor and see if it still works, but I feel like that's not a good idea. So yeah, I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, smell it, manage to deal with it, and extract it from the room. But it's just crazy to think that if I didn't have the ability to smell, there was no noise, it was just the smell and the smoke, but I can't see the smoke because it was so small. So yeah, thank God I'm here. Your boy might not be here, might not be here filming, but yeah. Oh my gosh. So yeah, moved that to the bathroom, and now we're here, we've set up, we're going, we're filming. Timetable has been a mess. It's been a mess, and we know it's been a mess, and we know what we need to do to fix it. But every time, life has been life, but December's always a busy month. So I'm gonna just hold my hands up and say December's a hard month to be organized for anyone, because so much things you can't account for. Yeah. Yesterday, one thing I wanted to talk about, and I feel like I've just jumped. I need a actual to figure out how to pause and go into the next topic without just yesterday. But but anyway, yesterday I really wanted to talk about saying no, learning to say no. Because, you know, I feel like saying no feels like an external thing. It feels like something that depends on, how do I explain it? So like I've got friends who'll be like, oh no, I have really bad self-control. Like I know myself, like I'm not able to hold back, or I'm not able to stop. And I get it, because it's like me, myself, I used to always feed into like myself. So I'm like, I want this, I'm gonna get this, and no one can stop me from getting it. And that was my mentality. So it's like, if I'm the one who wants it, who can stop? If the intention is with the side of me that has the stronger will, then who can stop me? Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. If I want it, and oh Lord. Yeah, if I enjoy something, if I'm having fun, and if I choose to be childish, then who's gonna bring the restraint, if that makes sense? Because I'm not someone who would do something without being aware of the risks. So it's like, if I've decided to lean into it, I'm leaning into it, and I'm all in. So rather than what am I trying to say? So rather than being able to say no, it's like, I know I can say no, but what if I don't want to say no and I should say no? That's the one. So it's, what if my intentions and what I want doesn't align with what I should want? Because that's the case where I have a problem, because I know that I will side with my intentions and what I want rather than what I should want. So in that example, it's like how, you know, I can't say no, so I get carried away. And that's the example, right? Of like, you get carried away and you can't say no. And saying no feels like something that it feels almost like it's outside of yourself, because it's like, how do I say no to myself? Ultimately, when I have always entertained myself. And that's when I was thinking, like, I feel like it's something you learn to do. I feel like you learn to say no. And that's something I've been learning to do, is to learn to say no. But no to myself. Like, yes, I'm having fun. Yes, I want to stay up for one more game. Yes, I want to go and try and squeeze this into my schedule. But I have to fight that inner battle and say, this is what I want and this is what I need. And almost decide now to say no to what I want and yes to what I need. Which is ultimately me really saying, it's ultimately me really doing what I want, rather than just going with the first inhibition, the first instinct, and not even, you know, having any sort of filter, like any sort of process to try and be better for myself, if that makes any sense. So yeah, learning to say no is something I'm working on, and I feel like it's an internal thing with yourself. Like, it might feel as though, oh yeah, I can't say no to myself because I really enjoy this. But at the end of the day, the reason you're even thinking about saying no to yourself is because you have a reason. And I feel like that's what I mean. With resolve, as I was talking about yesterday, and your reason, like the resolve, the strength of your resolve and your reason is what helps you to say no. So that's why I've been working on resolve, to build on that, saying no. And learning to say no to myself as well. So yeah, that was something I really did want to touch on yesterday. I don't know if I got around to it. But if I did, I'm sorry, you've heard it twice. No, I'm joking. But yeah, I hope I didn't say it yesterday. So I'm going to do a life story. I said today, since it's day 20, guys, I want to do a quick brand, young mogul Shay life story about, you know, figuring out. But I've just looked at my clock and I've realized I've only got a minute left. So I think I'll do like an edge. I do a cliffhanger sort of thing, right? So just picture this. It's early 2000s. I can't remember the date, but it wasn't that long ago. But let's say it's like 6-7 years ago. It's a young me and my best friend, and you know, we've started a clothing brand. We want to start a clothing brand. We think it's such a good idea. We have so many friends, so many different people we know doing cool things. Let's start a clothing brand. And we go and we actually put the steps into this, and we were actually progressing in this. And I'm actually wearing one of the products we actually owned and were selling at once. And I'll tell you the story behind this brand that I'm wearing and how we could have actually done it seriously and actually, you know, pushing it forward, but life and being young and opportunity. Oh yeah, like I said, that was the alarm going off, right? And it's not one of them. Someone said yesterday that it the way I just whacked the side, it looked like I had one of those old school alarms in it, but no, it's actually a digital alarm in it, so it goes off. So we hit our 10 minutes mark. But yeah, I'll explain why the brand, owning the brand, the struggles of it, why, like, what happened, and you know where it is today, and you know, yeah, it's an interesting story. It's one of those, you know, like in life, no regrets, just lessons for the most part. You know, I think I always grew up saying I have no regrets because I feel like it was such a part of my like strong character to be like I've got no regrets, because I feel like saying you have regrets is admitting that you're not happy with your life. But I've got a new outlook on it, which is like having regrets doesn't mean you're not happy with your life, but it just means that if you were given the same situation again, because of the lessons you have now, you would handle it differently, which means you've learned from the past. Whereas if you have no regrets and it's like never ever having regrets, then you haven't learned from anything that you've been through. So yeah, it is one of my regrets, actually. It's a regret. So in terms of a lesson, not in terms of like it makes me sad that I didn't do it, but in terms of I've learned from it, and given the situation I'd handled it differently, it is one of those. So I'll talk about that tomorrow. But yeah, thank you guys. Day 20, 10, well 11 technically for me, 12 because I missed the day, but 11 days left. And I think I had an idea where every day from now on I'm gonna bring a prop up, and I'm gonna have a prop, and it's gonna be, every prop comes with a story. So I have to tell you the story behind each prop. For example, like my mountain board, my longboard, inspired by mountain boarding. But yeah, alright guys, peace. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. Love, peace. Yeah, thank you for coming, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye.